So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday night. We getting together. Obviously, we are in New York City and traveling here in downtown. In different hosts, different friends of us who hosting us, and many people who coming and visiting the wisdom and the connection that we creating here. And remind ourselves that it's not just simply just to understand something. We're not coming here just to study something so I can be a little bit smarter, but the wisdom is about giving me an opportunity to become something, or something different than I am, or a little bit more than what I was thinking in my logical mind. So the wisdom give us not just information, but obviously consciousness. And that's what we want each one of us to have, is consciousness. And what type of consciousness every single one of us will generate is depend on your desire, right? If someone have a very much limited desire, his consciousness will be limited. It's only work together. Why? Because a desire activates thoughts and consciousness. If a person have a desire for something small, he doesn't need much consciousness for that, doesn't need much thoughts into it. But if you have a desire for something greater than who you are, bigger than what you were thinking, that desire will generate way more thoughts into it, way more consciousness to be available for you to manifest that desire. So these two things, what we're working on, that is really when we accessing the wisdom of Kabbalah to enjoy that, what we call consciousness that is way above where we are today. So when we come together, it's important not just to come to study, but to come to connect. And if we can meditate to send that light, that revelation for the world in places where the world need that energy, where the world need that support, people that you know need that help, that light, you can meditate at that light or that revelation or the aha moments that I would have today. I would love that light to be shine into someone's life, your friends, family, and as a collective group, I would like us to meditate that we can change the world also by awakening consciousness in our life. So what is the consciousness is revealed to us, and what is the main point that we want to connect is about continuity. I'm not sure if it's something that each one of us speaks about every day, or even think that is such a needed, unless you're in business, and in business, you have a client and the client comes in and you want them to keep buying. So you send them emails or become like, you give them a good customer service. So it's a repetitive or return client, and that's what you call continuity. I mean, the energy of continuity is not specific just in business, but is in everything in life. And that, if you have a consciousness of continuity, it determines if you are connected to the source of this universe, to the creator of this universe, or you separated from all these enormous amount of light and revelation and power that exists in this world, which we call it the power of creation, the source, which is the creator. Very important, my friend. This consciousness can dictate it for you. Am I connected to the source, or I'm disconnected and I'm a floater? Continuity. That's what we want to build. And tonight I'm going to go through 7 different layers. Okay? So you will have it. We will run through it as quick as we can, or as much as we can. If you have any note, any point, any question, please write it down and we can ask in the end, or you can, maybe you want to type it on that chat, I don't mind, and then later on we can read them. So this is what we want to connect. Why? And what is the reason for that specifically today, is reminding us where we're getting all this information. It's not simply come from my mind and I meditate and and I received in divine inspiration what we need to speak about. No, we know none of us, we claim to be a guru or any of those rabbis or priests or any of those that we know that we are. No, it's simply an individual who make the effort to open the writings. And again, you need a lot of much more practice and much more, a little bit effort to put into it. But it's all written. It's written in front of you. Many people don't open the wisdom. Specifically, talking about the wisdom of Kabbalah, not the literal stories. That's everybody can. That's why everybody don't get it. But once you open the secrets of what this week is about, it's so clear that many people are disconnected because they have no access to the knowledge. Again, for those of us who are here and now, please also make sure you share that with others as well. If you look at continuity, in this world, people will call continuity as legacy. What do I leave behind me when I leave this world? Maybe that, or some kind of legacy, or what is the generation, or what is the offspring of you, maybe your business stayed open a little bit after you passed away, or maybe your kids grew up and have another kids, and for now we have 2 or 3 generations. What is the continuity that we all have? How do we measure that? How can it can be measured? Should we measure that or not? Okay. What is what we call the problem, right? Most people of the world have the wrong measuring, right? The wrong measure, the wrong how we call matrix. If you think about it, and it's a very sad thought, just to think about that, not in a depressing way, but a little sad, that there are millions, and I don't want to say billions because I don't know, but I'm sure about millions of people who lived in this world, had a house, had a kid, had a business, had a home, and now nobody remembers them. Nobody even know that they exist. Think about many people around you, that if tomorrow they disappear, nobody would ask any question about it. And sure enough, few months, few years later, nobody even remember that person that exists. And it's very sad. I just remember when I had a friend who committed suicide when we were 16, 17. It just came to my mind now. I remember, he committed suicide. It was it was a big thing for him. But now, this is 30 years later, I'm not sure if I would remember this guy today, right now. He came to my mind. I don't know how many people think about him what's going on with his soul, right? Or with what he had in this world. Oh yeah, it was a child. No, it might be. I know many people who just sitting in a nursing home and just staring at the wall. Nobody comes to visit them. Nobody knows they exist even, right? So is that what we afraid of? Or we want to create something completely different? And again, this is where the wisdom can help us transform the way we think, the way we look at life, and the way we communicate, obviously with ourselves and with the world. So now this week, there is a verse in the Torah. Everybody knows the Torah is not a scroll of some kind of religious organization, right? The Torah comes from the word hora'ah, path. Show me. The Torah is a path, is a conduit to show us how each one of us can elevate themselves, detect what is disconnected, and how to replug themselves. Nothing to do with religion. And again, I feel bad that people are reading those stories. Again, some of them are beautiful, some of them are not so beautiful, or even makes no sense. and zero tolerance to humanity actually there. In many ways, many people separate from this story because it's like myself before studying this wisdom. I have zero interest in that story. Once you know what it tells us, what's the secrets of every week, you get excited a little bit more about the concealment of the Torah. 5 books of Moses, some people call it, or the Bible, okay? And again, it's never should be taken literally. It's like the same thing, you don't take people literally. Because sometimes what they're telling you is not what they feel inside. You take it literally, you take it this way. Sometimes you say, oh, take it as face value. Yeah, but something inside is not being shown. Or with the way I see people is not exactly what their soul is about. So it's important to practice that in life with people, but as well with the wisdom that we have. So in this week, it says, an interesting verse that many people took it literally. He says, the Creator is holy, Kadosh. That's why you should be holy. Okay? Kedoshim tiyu, holy you become, because I'm holy. Obviously, this is a beautiful thing, right? Now, okay, so now I got my mission in life. I understand. Because my creator, my sender, where I came from is a holy place, I need to be holy. So I make it an effort to be holy consciousness. What do you mean holy? Holy, many people took it as like a pure individual that is removed from this physical world, that people cannot touch him or her, and has to be very much removed from physicality, no money in their possession, all kind of stories that people came up with, right? And it's completely the other way around. A holy person is nothing less than an endless individual. A holy person is nothing to do with purity or all these, what we call these physical interpretation of what holy means, or better people or elevated people than others, all of that. It's really all about opening ourselves to become endless individual, people of continuity. A person of an endless, that is a holy person. I'm going to give you a few. Again, tonight we're going to cover 7 different practical points that can help us shifting our consciousness, or at least sets us in a direction where we can become or connecting to continuity. A continuous individual, someone that no end in their consciousness, in their thoughts. They are not finite, they are not limited, they are not complicated. They are simple, continuous people. That means holy people. Now, holy also, my teacher, the Rav Berg, always told us that never think about holy like a holy day or important person. He says, change it to a holy, rounded, meaning circuitry. That is continuity. When there's circuitry in someone's life, there's always continuity in someone's life. So someone think continuity doesn't mean straight line. Continuity is a circle as well. Is that true to say? Yeah. Continuity, a circle. Not like a straight line, keep going on and on. You're eventually going to come back to the same place. So the idea is to connect to the circuitry of life, to the circuitry, like the light bulb we spoke many times. If in the light bulb there's a break, or in the electric wire there's a break, there's no circuitry, electricity doesn't flow. So again, what separates us from the world of creation, or the whole creation, is how how strong is my consciousness of continuity in my life. Again, this is very much, I'm going to talk about this idea. So, one is to make sure so number one, the week starts this way. Sorry. Okay, much better. Much better. Thank you. We had a technical difficulty. So, number one, what do we want to connect to? Okay, is the Creator tell us, the Creator of this world, the creation tell us, you cannot suck into the vacuum or the force of creation if you are not connected to continuity. That vacuum that lifts you up, that changes many impossibilities in your life, is when you actually sucked into that spiritual vacuum that takes away negativity, that positive vacuum. So number one, the instruction says, Daber el kol adat bnei Israel. The Torah says, who is the individual who can connect to continuity? Whoever have the consciousness to speak to the entire congregation. What does it mean, the congregation? Is the consciousness of what we call collective. Can I plug myself to the collective consciousness, not my individual consciousness? My individual consciousness can be taken over by a very much the simplest or the smallest negativity. I want to plug into the collective consciousness, and not meaning el kol adat bnei Israel. Adat, the word adat is congregation, meaning collective. But if you flip the letters, you get the word da'at, which is consciousness. So he says, you need to have the consciousness of the connection to the collective consciousness. That's the first point, which means when I do something, or when I don't do something. When I do something, do I want to influence my two friends, or I want to influence the rest of the world? Second thing is, when I don't do, or when I'm engaged with negative behaviors, do I understand that my individual behavior can influence as well the collective people of the world? That you need to have that consciousness. One, to the negative or to the positive. You are influencing the collective with negativity or with positivity. That's not even a question. Why? When we're talking about continuity, the current, the electric current, right? The electric current is constant in the wire. It's not like all of a sudden turn off, when it comes to your house, right? The electricity is always there. When you turn on, you get connected, right? When you plugged in. Meaning, again, it's a little bit deeper, but everything in this physical world is connected in a constant way. The trees, the fabric of earth is communicating with everything. If you don't have to believe me, you have to look into different documentaries, that are available and show you exactly how all earth, the fabric, communicate with everything above. Everything is communicating. Information flows like insane in this world. But for us, it seems like we're not connected to it. It seems like, no, what am I thinking today? Today I was maybe having some thoughts, not incredible thoughts, right? I'm not connected. I'm not plugged. I don't feel plugged in all the time. You ask the nature world, You ask the trees, you ask the birds, you ask everybody know exactly any high and low tide and any energy that comes, any damage that's happening to the world. All kingdoms of the world feel it beside human being. Everything is connected in a constant way. It's not here and there. Everything. This is something you should learn. Everything is constantly connected to each other and communicate with each other. We, each one of us, when we don't have the collective consciousness to communicate with everything. Why? Because I know that my action, positive or negative, influencing. Now, most of us don't know. That's why they figure out the quantum effect, because everything is so connected and everything you do here affects over there. We all learn it. I don't need to convince you about it. But what we see here is the influence beyond myself. Collective consciousness. I'm influenced the world. That's why we say that we come to class. Don't come for you. Come for the rest of the world. Come to share that wisdom with others. 2, that's the first prerequisite, consciousness of continuity. Again, I hope you remember that. If not, go back and listen to it again. You're going to hear the answer. Second, the Torah tells us, Al tifnu el ha'elilim. Don't make yourself, or don't turn to the idols. Now, today, I mean, maybe in some other worlds or some other countries, maybe third world country, I don't know. But anybody here is worshiping idols? I don't know. I don't see, any house like, I don't see. What's the connection? Why you tell me? Yeah, maybe it was right back 3,000 years ago. What's the connection to idols today? I don't work the idols, right? We all, if we really honest with ourselves, we're gonna find ourselves idol worshiper all the time. Okay, how? First of all, I want to go, more practical. That's what's important in this wisdom. It's not just to keep it in a big, high slogan conversation, but make it practical. Each one of us, maybe once a day, once a week, falling into the place of, if I'll have, I'll give. When it's going to manifest, then I'll be happy. If that's going to happen, then everybody understand that idea? We all have that back and forth, right? Meaning, when I get, I'm going to be happy. When it's manifest, I'll be this. When, depend what they think about us, then we'll see what we're going to do. Most of us are idol worshiper when we're thinking, first, let's see what the world do, and then I'll decide. First, let's see when it comes, then I'll be, right? I don't know. So therefore, I don't make decisions. And that's the difference between someone who is a creator and someone who is an idol worshiper. Creator doesn't wait to anybody. Doesn't sit around. Again, we're waiting maybe when our ego is too much, right? But other than that, when you have to manifest something, when you have to go for something, you don't wait. Oh, I'm waiting. Let's see. That consciousness is not creator consciousness. Creator is manifesting, creating, and initiating. You think there's a God, some kind of God waiting for you to start praying or start requesting, so now I can give you? No, the creator is constant and always at work, always in creation. Always. The fact that I don't see anything new doesn't mean that the world is not renewed all the time. So again, this is the consciousness. In order to create continuity in our life, in our consciousness, you need to remove this type of consciousness, because that's what takes over your vessel. The consciousness of, if I would have, if you assign me, if they give me an opportunity, if they give me the job, if If the investor, no, I make the opportunity. I open the opportunities. I give the opportunity. I don't take opportunity. I'm giving opportunity. It's a complete different way of using who we are and what we are. If everything in this world is so connected, beside human being, don't you ask yourself a question? Again, I'm not saying that maybe people think they are connected, but I'm not connected and plugged in like the trees, like the ocean, feel everything, right? In this world. Human being, beside themselves, even themselves, sometimes they don't get. That's what we want. We want today, each one of us, at least the people who listen to it, or whenever you listen to it, if you plug into a YouTube or whatever it is going to show, please awaken yourself to this consciousness. Very important. Third, oh, by the way, also idol worshiping, if you want to be much faster, more connected to continuity, any addiction that have power over you needs to be reduced slowly, right? Again, many people like dealing with us for years, or what do you mean slowly, right? It's when someone is very addicted to something, it takes a little bit longer, persistent perseverance, of consciousness of continuity to eventually to remove the finite consciousness of the immediate gratification. That's what addiction is, right? Or as the Kabbalah says, al tifnu el elim, it means don't divert your consciousness, don't be distracted by, sometimes I want to, have you ever went to a restaurant and you had like the desire to eat something, and then the waiter come and somehow does some magic on you and make you or lured you to buy the steak that they want you to buy? Happened many times, and sometimes people are not that strong to say no, I want what I want, right? Sometimes when you really not strong on what you want, how many times you said no and someone says, yeah, okay, we're gonna do it either way, in spite of what you think. No. Al tifnu, meaning don't divert or don't distract yourself. Very easy. That's determine how strong you are in the energy of continuity. Don't be diverted for nothing. And also check yourself. Again, check yourself how fast you changed your mind. How fast? That's it. Just to know, because if I want to be an unlimited person, if I want to be connected to continuity, and every single moment I'm changing my mind, oh yeah, I want it, oh, but I want this, but I need this, but wait a second. Nothing can manifest like that. I shared with my friend earlier today, imagine you plant a tree, right, in your backyard, and you see it start to grow, and you take it and say, no, I want it in the front yard. You dig it, you dig it out, you put it in the front yard, and then you move it. Oh, after a month ago, I don't want it there. I'm going to move it to here, and then move. Every day I'm going to change the tree will never grow and will never have fruit. If each one of us changes their mind every single day, nothing can manifest. If we change our desire every single day, of course cannot be manifest. If today I want to be an endless, and tomorrow I wake up and I do only for me, what did I get? I didn't get it. Right? So at least to be aware where I am, and to just at least to check. These are the things that you need to write down for yourself. Point 3. Again, we have more to go. In point 3, it says, the Torah says, Ve'elokei masecha lo ta'asu lachem. So it says in one hand, don't create like, it's called masks. Right, mask or custom, meaning it's different guy, like the way people took it, remember in different tribes, in different different maybe different Indian or African, we find that in Brazil we find that those masks that people are putting, all those huge masks of these, or in China, they have the dragon mask they putting, right? So he says these things, be aware of them, right? Don't do it don't use these type of masks. What does it mean? It's not particularly about those. Again, It might be nice and cute, but what does it mean for my life? I'm not walking around with those masks or wearing them and making performance, right? This is the religious mind. This is, if you have religious mind, and if you fall into a religious mind, even if you are spiritual, you can fall to a religious mind. Religious mind doesn't mean I'm a religious person. Very important to understand what means religious mind, as opposed to a religious person. Religious person, it doesn't mean, it's the same thing, but religious mind, you find it in everywhere. Everywhere. Again, let me explain to you from a Kabbalistic spiritual place. Why? In one hand, I know that without repetition, nothing can be, observed. Nothing, right? If I did something one time, right? It's really not as strong. That's why when you go to the gym, how many reps do you do, right? At least 20 reps of 10 push-ups, okay? If you do only 10 push-ups, okay, maybe it did something. But only the repetitions build a muscle. I hope everybody agree with me. And actually, even if you don't, that's the way it works. So repetition, that's what we've been asked by the religious world. Every day you have to wake up, you do these things, you go every Sunday to the church, every Saturday to the synagogue, to the mass, you do this, you wake up in the morning, 5 times a day you pray, you bow down, 3 times a day, in Shabbat, in Rosh Hashanah, in the New Year, in Easter, egg, everybody, that's what we do. We are very good in being monkeys, in being robotic, we're very good. What is the difference between a religious person to a spiritual person? Consciousness. When you do something religiously, it is important that there is the religiously doing things, but consciousness dictates whether you are connected to continuity, meaning there is light manifests from you and on, or the light stops from you and nothing manifests from that. That's the difference. Because in religion, we all have it in our mind, religiously. Like, I always like the story of tradition. I don't have, I don't have time for that today. I have many points to cover, but each point is like a beautiful, beautiful consciousness. So one is it's important to create habits, but a positive habits, and to get used to do those habits. But it's important sometimes that to break those patterns of habits, even if it's from a positive point of view, to break the pattern that you yourself created, because that's what no, I have to sleep 8 hours. If I don't sleep 8 hours, I can't function. Great, it's so healthy, but yeah, I can't come to your dinner because it's going to be last, and I have to wake up early, so I can't stay for your dinner. So you're disconnected from people because you need your 8 hours sleep. And again, I don't say you don't need it, but sometimes it's good to break that. You know what I mean? Break that cycle, and then go back. But find ways to do that. It allows you to break the patterns of habitual behavior that eventually consciousness doesn't enter there. So that's another thing. One, a person, also wants to remove the consciousness of I must, or you must do that, or you have to. They have to, that's religious. You have to. Okay, we're saying it also here sometime, here and there, but it's important to understand where it comes from. It's because I want something greater than myself. I have to remove myself. That's what we say. But in every given thing, you don't have to do anything I tell you here. And by the way, please don't believe anything I'm saying in those lectures. Why? Because I want you to test it yourself. Don't really be a monkey even to what I tell you to or suggest to you. What is the spiritual mask that people put? A mask of a spiritual person, a mask of a I'm relaxed, and inside is really angry and upset. But the mask is very nice. Mask of different slogan and different bombarded language and sentences and words that like, wow, right? And many people are behind that. It's important to understand that when people external life and how it look like more important than the internal, they are in the reality of creating masks, right? Covers. It's not real. Four. in that point, he says, Beyom zivchechem yachel umimacharat. Again, continue. That's just a part of the sentence. It's a beautiful thing. You know, sometimes when you eat, let's say you had a great dinner, right? You had a great dinner. So you enjoy it today, like an amazing dish that you had today. You can technically a little bit rave about it tomorrow. Technically, what it tells you, there is still energy because the food's still inside. So you can still rave on the food that you ate yesterday or brag about it from a sharing point of view, not because it's better than others. But in a way, in the third day, you can go back and speak about what you ate 3 days ago. You can, but it's no longer exist, meaning. So let me just explain to you now, just give you the food example. But we need to equip ourselves with the ability to move forward as quick as you can. That's the gift. That's continuity. People sometimes getting stuck and about the dish that I ate yesterday, the whole week they talk about it. Enough. Okay, we enjoy, amazing, oh, beautiful. Yes, tomorrow a little bit, but then move on. Okay, I said it, move on. We have to equip ourselves with the ability to move on much faster than what we do, because there's so much to reveal. There's so much to do. There's so many people need help. There's so many secrets are concealed. So much wisdom is sitting in books. You know, earlier someone came earlier to your friends come and said me, you know, I have many books. What am I going to do with that? I said, I feel bad that the books sitting in your house and nobody is using them. All this wisdom. So obviously, you know, equipped with the ability to move faster and forward all the time. And one of the things is to stop the joy that I have from the fruit of yesterday. Again, I'm not saying not to appreciate, not to admire, not to respect, and not to enjoy. But how long can you enjoy from a championship that you won when you were 16? I'm still talking about me. I won a judo competition when I was 7 years old. Do we want to, are you, guys, I won a second place. Anybody's excited about me winning a judo competition when I was 7 years old? I don't see anybody, oh, going crazy, right? If I tell you yesterday I defeated, I was winning a UFC, whatever the fighter, UFC called them, UFC fight yesterday, yeah, okay. But if I tell you it was 20 years ago, I win a UFC, okay, that's very nice. And that's how old what we enjoying. Because it's happened yesterday, it's gone. I'm telling you, maybe one day before, that's it. Equip yourself with that. The credit of yesterday, the fruits of yesterday, the you know, the sacrifice that I've done. You know what? Many people you talk to them, you know how many sacrifices I've done for my children, for my employee, for my business. I sacrifice enough. Okay, enough talking about it. We heard you. We heard it, but they're going on and on and on because there's nothing new. So the sacrifice you've done yesterday, it's gone the next day. You cannot get the credit for the third day. Equip yourself for that and move on. Again, this is very important. Remember, the negativity or the sacrifice or the success you had yesterday, everything that led up until yesterday was to make that result happen. But today, it cannot take you to the next step if you're still riding on yesterday's success. Please remember that. Fifth is something that you have to really, the word have to, when I'm saying it, remember, it's not because you have to do it. It's because if you desire to be an endless, continuous person, the sentence, the verse says, "Vela'ani velager ta'azov otam." He says many times that you leave some stuff. Let's say you have a field and you take all the fruits from the field, and then you leave some in the back for the poor and people who come, like, around, wanders. Give them, let them food, let them eat. What is the consciousness here? Is to realize, and again, you have to sit with yourself a little bit and really acknowledge that a lot of people walking around without consciousness, without access to wisdom, without the ability to know why things are unplugged or plugged, connected or disconnected in their life, why things manifest or not. It's just a little consciousness to have, a little bit more connection to the wisdom tells you and gives you that pleasure. What is he saying here? If you want to be connected to continuity, one thing you want to create, first of all, is to understand that the world and many people are poor for the wisdom. And they are poor. Again, if you go in the street and ask someone, "Hey, can I share with you the most important wisdom?" Again, I'm interested to know what people will say, right? But it's because I'm biased, but I think, of course, I want to hear. Tell me something, right? That's what I would assume. But the most of the important part is to realize that the world is poor with consciousness and the wisdom. Therefore, the results of a vessel that is empty from wisdom is chaos. A vessel that is empty from wisdom and consciousness, only chaos can be there. Confusion, delays, and so forth. Our ability to become a continuous individual, an endless person, is always make sure that you share right away everything you learn. Everything you learn. And make sure you leave the door open to anybody to come back. If you share, don't force, don't have to, don't get upset with them, but definitely make sure that you leave the door for them to come back and regain back a connection to the wisdom. Very important, because that is the connection to their creator. 6. In the 6th one, 6 and 7, we have, and I'm going to send you away with those gifts. In the 6, he says, 3 things. לא תגנבו, לא תכחשו, ולא תשקרו. Don't steal, don't deny, and don't lie. Okay, anybody here waking up in the morning and just want to lie? Anybody here wake up in the morning and just want to dismiss creator and dismiss creation? That's where desire is? No. Anybody wake up in the morning, and if you hear, you probably know the thief, right? If you end up plugging into this class, you probably know the thief. If you click, I want to watch this class about that, such and such, because you know the thief. So what's the connection? I'm not a thief. We all thieves. Again, if you don't see it, it's very hard to remove it. What I mean, thieves. Thieves is not someone who steals go to someone's store and steal something. That's very nice. We can, we can see it. If someone, again, this consciousness is so beautiful. If you really, really focus on that. I want and I fight only for what belongs to me from the moment of creation. If you have that consciousness, everything you fight for, everything you struggle for, it's because it belongs to you. Most people fighting for something that somebody else have that I want. It's mine. Give me that deal. It's mine. Give me that girl. Give me that boyfriend. It's mine. He was mine. Many people chasing after something that doesn't belong to them. Many people, probably some of us, listening to something, and we steal an idea from someone. Why? Because I don't have a better idea, so let me steal their idea, right? That's what people do. Or even, they hear something interesting, they use it for their advantage, right? That's in a way thieves, meaning it's not belongs to you. How many of us looking for shortcuts in the way? Many, many ways. Taking energy from others, stealing their energy, stealing their doubts, stealing their mind, right? We all been hijacked sometime by people, right? By people hijacked in our mind all the time, or in a way, some people are still captive of others. Very important. Lo tignevu, meaning run away from something that doesn't belong to you. Please pray, meditate every single day. I just fight and will fight, and I desire all what is belong to me from the moment of creation. And again, you're not looking outside who have it and I want to take it from them, but you fight, you create that within you, you create that space within you. Don't fall. Oh, an opportunity to grab now. I'm not taking it. Tekachashu, he says, don't deny the light of the creator or the creator, but that doesn't mean that. I want you to really have like a little bit self-observation for now. Anyone in your life, when you tell them something of something that they've done, something that they didn't do, when they are in denial about something that they did or their behavior, do you see it? Do you sense that someone is in denial? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. You right away. Why they're in denial? Right? No, I don't want you to observe and to search for others' denial. Why you are in denial? What makes you, what clicks that denial, that defensive type of behavior or response? This is what you want to find out. This is where you penetrate continuity into other things. Identify what the Torah tells us. Please identify when you're in denial about your situation, about what you've done, about what's going on, right? Don't be afraid, expose it. That's why the word transparency is not an easy word, but definitely it's been used. But again, also when you detect others in denial, others in defensive, don't push them. Don't put pressure on them because there's no continuity. Let go. Okay, no problem. You see their denial, you see the, and again, I'm working with many people, and I can, again, it's not fair because when you work with a lot of people, you can detect much faster. Okay, more than the person individually can detect. There's nothing special with me. It's like more you talking to people, more you can recognize it. But when you do recognize it on others, I usually, again, if it's someone is in denial for too long, talking to me and again and again and again, with all due respect, and only because I have love to the individual, I would say, you know what, you're too much in denial here. But in general, when you hear that, in order to create continuity for you, let them be in denial. It's okay. Don't put pressure. Again, if it's a repetitive on and on and on, we have to look into it in different ways. But definitely don't put the pressure. Recognize it. Because what happened to you when people put pressure on you, when you're in denial? Something else happened. The last one in that 6th verse, it says, "Velo teshakru." Does anybody here wake up in the morning and just want to lie? Absolutely not. Are we a liar? No. But are we having a little bit lies? Yes. Here and there? Yes. We're using them and we're saying, no, it's better. It's none of the other person's business, so I can lie, right? Remember, the physical body is robotic. Anytime the body learns to lie, that's what he's going to do always. If you would equip your body to be down under freezing water, your body will get used to it and eventually will overcome them. If you will decide that your body, you lying this morning, you say, okay, the body will start doing it automatically. Now, why people lie? Because they want a shortcut, because they don't want to go through the longer process, or many other reasons. But what is the difficulty in this week? Now, I'm not talking about lies just for the sake of lie, what it is, but how it prevents the consciousness of continuity in my life. Lies create delays. Lie create delay. It put the person in suspense, in a waiting room. You know, when before you come and enter to this room in the Zoom, it tells you the host needs to admit you, right? So imagine every day you're talking to people and you had a little lie here, a little lie there. You're in a waiting room. And who are you talking to? Only the people that in the waiting room. That's your level of communication with liars. What do you mean liars? Not per se like all their life is lying, but the waiting room, the suspense, they are on suspense because lies prevent from the truth to flow. To create continuity, lies is preventing from continuity. So again, lying about ourselves, lying to ourselves and to others creates separation. And he says, until you're ready to deal with the truth, then you're out of the waiting room. You're out of that suspending place. Again, lie sometimes looks like give us the help, maybe sometimes helping us, you know, to get out of a situation or to not suffer the consequences. It seems like in the beginning, but later on takes away everything from you. It takes away the ability to choose and the ability to maintain consciousness of continuity. The last thing is 7 in this week. It speaks about ve'ahavta lera'acha kamocha. There's a very famous sentence in the Torah, love thy neighbor as yourself. Then later on, everybody knows that many of the Christianity is built on that sentence, right? All of the Torah, right? It says if you want to learn the entire Torah, is love thy neighbor as yourself. Again, seems like the entire reality is that. For whatever reason, we're not going to get into all the depth of it. It's not the time for that. But the time that I want to speak about it today is about love. Why? It's because love have no barriers. Love is the closest, I would say, feeling or an energy force that drives us to go endlessly to the end of the world. How many times you heard yourself saying it? Oh, I love the person. I'll go to the end of the world and come back for that individual, right? What makes you that love is the driving force of endless force to drive. So what do we want to connect here? Is it says that when you have a spiritual vessel, that spiritual vessel that we received in creation, meant to equip and to fit only love. Our vessel is equipped, and the best use of our vessel is when it's used for love. That's what it is. Any other use of your vessel is crooked. It doesn't manifest as strong. So he says, any empty vessel that you're not filled with light, with love, it's filled with nonsense and BS's. Always waste of time, total waste of time. When you feel it, it's because you did not fill the vessel with love. And if you don't fill the vessel with love, the universe automatically, with the evil inclination that exists within us, we filled it with temporary reliefs, temporary, connections, small talks. Everybody's enjoying small talks, right? Not deep, long, and I don't want to get involved. But what we want to start filling our vessel with is with endless love. So this is the last point. The big picture, as I said before, we want to become endless individual. We want to connect to the energy of continuity. Why? Because the Creator is who we are. Where we came from is only in a constant continuity. Always continuous, always. We are finite. Always afraid everything will end, always living like that. If you don't change it, nothing else will be inspired from that. So tonight, again, this week is about to become holy. What is holy? Is continuity. Endless individual. And please send that light, send that energy to the world, and please share this if you can send that to everybody that you know, and help us spread this wisdom. Help yourself become more of a continuous individual. Thank you.